it's me again and welcome back to another Arnsby baking video. Today we are making blondies. Now I have had an obsession with blondies for a very long time. I love them. I think they're great. You can do so much with them. So yeah, I really love this video. I really love this recipe. You can change it up a bit if you want to. It's important with this one that you keep using the white chocolate. Blondies and brownies are two different things, and if you try and change that up, it just won't work very well. So make sure you stick to that. But some things you can do if you wanted to, you could add like a dollop of jam on top of your mixture before you put it in the oven. That tastes quite good. Just before it's finished baking, you could put like a jammy dodger on top, makes it look really cool, something like that. And what I will say with these ones is make sure they are really, really quite cold when you cut them. And they do actually taste better the next day, which is a bit strange if you can manage not to eat them before the evening's over. So have fun with this video, make sure you wash your hands, make sure you keep safe when you're using the hob and the oven, and make sure you've got an adult to help you if you need that. So yeah, have fun and we'll see you soon. So for this baking, I was super organised and pre-weighed everything. In there is just melted butter. I did it on the hob, but you can just as easily melt it in the microwave. It is just melted, nothing special to it. Mix that in with your soft light brown sugar. If you're struggling to find that, you can use just caster sugar, or you can use half caster sugar and half dark brown sugar to make up the amount you need. So make sure that's nice and incorporated. It will take a while, but it will get there. And then just with the tip of your finger, obviously they're clean because you've washed them, and make sure that it's not too warm. And then you can add in your milk and eggs, which I have already mixed together. Add a little bit at a time, make sure that it's fully incorporated after each bit that you've mixed in. It may seem like I have a lot of ingredients here. I will explain at the end, but I have doubled my recipe just because I really like these and I had a tin that was big enough. So yeah, feel free to do that. So make sure that's nice and incorporated. And add your vanilla. Next, you need to add your plain flour. I've added about half of it and just stir that through nicely. Try not to beat it too much at this stage. You don't really want too much air going into it really. And then you can add the other half. At this point, you need to add in your chocolate. I have left a little bit of chocolate, just a little bit left over, and I will show you what to do with that in a minute. This is just a cheap chocolate that I got from Aldi. It doesn't have to be anything special. It does the job very well. So as I said at the beginning, I have doubled my mixture, but if I was just to do the singular one, then I could use a loaf tin like that, or I'd double it if you're using this size one, but that's just a normal sort of roasting tin. I'm sure you'll find in the cupboard somewhere. Because I do bake a lot, I have got this nice fancy 10-inch square tin, and I'm going to be using that one. With anything that you use, do make sure you line it with greaseproof paper. It just helps at the end to be able to get it out really. I'm just going to cut the corners of this so it fits in nicely. That might look a bit dodgy, but because the greaseproof paper isn't exactly square, if I was to cut it exactly in the corners, it just wouldn't work. So yeah, I've just got a little bit of butter, tiny little bit, just to help the greaseproof stick to the tin. Just stops it from sliding around really. Fit your greaseproof in and then trim off any dangly bits that you might find so it fits nicely. One last quick stir through to make sure that your chocolate's fully incorporated. I've got a fancy scraper, but a wooden spoon would do just fine really. So once you've poured it all in, just push it around to the sides just to make sure that it's nice and evenly spread out. Because it is quite a thick mixture, I find that lifting the tin up and just letting it drop on the surface a few times really helps just to make it even. As long as your work surface is even, of course. And then lastly, you can sprinkle the leftover chocolate on top. You don't have to do this, you can just have it all in the middle, all incorporated in the batter, but I think it just adds a nice little extra touch. Once you've done that, you need to pop it in the oven. In your preheated oven, it should be about 160 to 180 degrees, and that needs to go in for about 20 minutes, maybe about 15 if you're only doing one lot of it. Make sure you leave it to cool for at least an hour, preferably 2 hours, before you take it out of the tin. As you can see, I've taken it out of the tin and I've put it on a chopping board. Now, to get a perfectly clean slice, I am going to use quite a sharp knife. Now, please be really careful and make sure you've got an adult around to help you. I've also got a cloth that's a little bit damp, so after each wipe, after each slice, I'm just going to make sure my knife is nice and clean. The cloth is really thick, so I know I'm not going to cut myself, but you still need to be really careful. So one clean slice through, careful of your fingers, and then even though it doesn't look dirty, you need to wipe it just so you get a nice clean slice each time.
and just repeat that until you've got the sizes that you want. As it says in the recipe, I think it does anyway, these are actually best the next day for some reason. When you cut into it, they might seem a little bit gooey and maybe even a little bit underdone, but that's just perfect for blondies and it's how they're supposed to be. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. Bye!